It's just absolutely splendid to see all of you here this afternoon. A lot of memories, I know, for Rich and Carolyn tied up with the people who've come out to mark this occasion. Good afternoon and welcome to this celebration of a decade in the life of this institution and a milestone also in the lives of Rich and Carolyn Ringeisen. How can I convey the many ways that UIS changed during the Ringeisen years? A shorthand way is to say that under Chancellor Ringeisen's leadership, UIS was transformed. We solidified our identity, both within the University of Illinois and on the national scene, as a leading public liberal arts university. We attracted new student clienteles, both on campus and online. And we changed the physical face of the campus with new state-of-the-art educational, recreational, and housing structures, as well as fountains and gardens. That's a great deal to have accomplished in a decade. What Rich knows, and what those of us who worked closely with him know, is that every one of those changes was hard-won and took perseverance and timely action by the Chancellor to come to fruition. Rich would be the first to say that the work behind these transformations was a team effort. But what those of us who were on that team know is that at key moments, the Chancellor's decisive actions saved the day and kept projects moving. This afternoon, we'll hear from people representing different facets of the Chancellor's life over the past decade, who want to express their gratitude and good wishes on this occasion. Appropriately enough, we'll start with a student leader, Mr. Matt Van Vossen, two-term president of the Student Government Association, a political science major from Oak Lawn, Illinois, and an outstanding exemplar of the kind of bright and thoughtful students who thrive at UIS. Matt?
Thank you, Harry. If I only look back at how I've seen UIS grow in the past 4 years, it is simply astonishing. Under Chancellor Ringheisen's leadership, I have seen the UIS campus physically expand. With the addition of the Recreational Athletic Center and the Trillium Townhomes during my freshman year, he made it possible for UIS to welcome more students and give them the chance to grow as well. The addition of Founders Residence Hall my junior year instantly doubled UIS's ability to offer dormitory-style living to hundreds of new students. Since I first arrived at UIS, I have seen the student population and campus life grow by leaps and bounds. Never have there been so many students living on campus as there are now. Under Chancellor Ringheisen, UIS now offers higher education to more than 5,000 students in a single semester, and we compete in NCAA Division II athletics. Whether you look at his whole tenure at UIS or just simply the past 4 years, Chancellor Ringheisen has been an example of exactly the type of leadership that UIS needs, continually raising the bar for himself and the whole campus. On behalf of the entire student body, we wish Chancellor Ringheisen all the best in his retirement, and I know I can say with certainty that he will be missed. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Pam McClelland, a dedicated alum of UIS. Pam received both her bachelor's and master's degrees in accountancy from UIS and is currently the vice chair of the UIS Alumni Advisory Board.
The necessary glasses, sorry. On behalf of the UIS alumni and the Campus Alumni Advisory Board, it's a real honor to be here today to help celebrate and recognize Chancellor Ringheisen and the tremendous leadership he's shown over the last 10 years. As a UIS graduate, one of the things you count on university leadership to do is to inspire achievement and to lead efforts that build value in the UIS degree. I think we can all agree that the Chancellor has accomplished that and much more. One of the hallmarks of his tenure here has been campus growth, not only in the beautification and the expansion of the physical campus, but also in the academic realm as a nationally ranked institution. Chancellor Ringeisen has been very supportive of graduates in the Alumni Association, having served for over 10 years as an ex officio member of the Alumni Association Board, and his wife Carolyn, his partner in all things at UIS, has served extensively on the SAGE Alumni Development Committee. As many of you know, both Carolyn and Richard have been at so many events of the Alumni Association, not only here in Springfield, but also in Chicago and Washington, D.C. as well. Alumni can especially appreciate how Chancellor Ringeisen has always recognized the importance of advocacy and the value of alumni having a role and a voice in the welfare of the university. This type of support helped raise the possibility of having the first UIS graduate serve on the university's board of directors, and the first UIS graduate in line to serve as chairman of the UIAA board of directors. Alumni have all the more reason to take pride in their alma mater and more reason to be inspired to take an active role in continuing the fulfillment of its destiny. We can all appreciate how he and Carolyn have nurtured UIS to achieve success, especially during such an economically challenging time. Richard and Carolyn, thank you. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for your leadership, for your courage and your camaraderie. We hope that you will take UIS with you, not only in your mind, but in your heart, knowing that you have led UIS to become one of the best public liberal arts universities in the nation. Thank you.
Pam, thank you so much. Now, speaking of UIS alumni, Chancellor Ringeisen has greeted and shaken hands with over 8,000 graduates at commencement ceremonies from 2001 through 2010. I'm glad it wasn't all in one commencement ceremony. Today, we would like to turn the tables and are pleased to have one student from each of those classes to offer their best wishes to you upon your retirement. 2002, Paris Ervin. Okay. 2003 graduate, coming up with our 2004 graduate. From the class of 2005, Laura Donovan. A graduate with the class of 2006, David Hartwick. From 2007, Holly Fowler. Our 2008 graduate, Beth Gorsuch. From 2009, Craig McFarland, well-known character around here. And a most recent graduate, proud to introduce Luke Runyon. Chancellor, all of us here today wish you the very best in your retirement. My friend, Julie Kellner.
Thank you, Harry, even though you're told the year. When I think about Rich's time at the University of Illinois Springfield, my memory of him will forever be tied to Howard Humphrey. Is there anyone who hasn't been lucky enough to know Howard? Certainly everyone who knew him was treated to his dedication to UIS and his sense of humor and dedication to the system of the University of Illinois. Howard chaired the U of I Springfield Development Advisory Board until his passing. He would certainly be proud that several new scholarships have been created and the Brilliant Futures campaign has achieved success, reaching its $28 million goal. What I remember most is the enthusiasm with which Howard and Rich used to talk about the U of I sports teams, Springfield's wins and losses, mostly wins, the building of the teams and the coaching leadership. the energy the two of them felt sitting in the new athletic center cheering on games. It stands out that Rich, with the support of Carolyn, was able to envision and transform Sangamon State University into a visually attractive UIS campus that brings the community to the college. A four-year university replete with a vibrant student life that includes a full complement of academic endeavors, the arts, and several athletic offerings, a campus that enriches the lives of the students and their families, the faculty, the administrative staff, and the community. Rich has led a faculty and campus that is recognized and as providing one of the finest regional public educations in this nation. Good for the search committee for their direction and foresighted decision to hire Rich Ringeisen as the University of Illinois Springfield's Chancellor. And I wonder, thank you to the search committee, or who is here from that original committee? You were, thank you. It was just a perfect choice. And good luck to you, Carolyn and Rich.
It's now my pleasure to call to the podium a dedicated teacher, scholar, and campus citizen, Tih-Fen Ting, Associate Professor of Environmental Studies and Chair of the UIS Campus Senate.
That was very nice. I didn't know that Chancellor Ringeisen used to grow a mustache. For those who are wondering why I don't have more appropriate attire on for this special event, I just came from conducting field sampling with my students. And my students probably are wishing they could be here rather than sampling plants in the woods as their professor would like them to do. As the chair of the Campus Senate, it is my honor to have this opportunity on behalf of faculty and staff to congratulate Chancellor Richard Ringeisen, nicknamed R-Square, for the retirement that's well-deserved, and to thank Chancellor Ringeisen for providing stability and keeping UIS moving forward despite the deteriorating financial environment of the state starting the moment he assumed the chancellorship. Chancellor Ringeisen's retirement comes after an academic career that spans 4 decades, and he has dedicated a quarter of his career in building UIS. Others have or will speak more fully to his achievements, but just let me quickly mention a few or repeat a few. Chancellor Ringeisen has overseen a remarkable physical transition of the campus, has ushered in a new generation of faculty, and has led UIS to become a full 4-year institution with increasing diversity. From my first class 7 years ago, in which I was the only non-white person, to my class today, which includes international students from Ghana, Sri Lanka, India, the Dominican Republic, and American students of African, Hispanic, Asian, and European ancestries. The changes are transformative and highly visible. These changes, of course, would not have been possible without the vision and leadership of the Chancellor. I understand it's been difficult for Rich to think about retirement. Retirement is such an unthinkable concept for career academics. Nonetheless, I want to say to Rich, you should absolutely enjoy your retirement. You have led UIS a long way along the path to becoming an outstanding public liberal arts campus. As we are searching for the new chancellor and turning to a new chapter for the Springfield campus, we will remember the contributions you have made and the accomplishments we have achieved together. Thank you very much for the time, effort, and sleepless nights you have spent in the last decade on our behalf. Thank you. Now, speaking of the next chapter for the institution, I feel very fortunate to have served on the Presidential Search Committee last year that led to the selection of President Mike Hogan as the 18th President of the University of Illinois. A Midwest native, President Hogan brings to the university impressive experience from a 4-decade career in public higher education that has included progressively senior administrative appointments from the executive dean, executive vice president and provost to president at institutions such as Ohio State University, the University of Iowa, and the University of Connecticut. In addition, President Hogan is a renowned scholar in post-World War II diplomatic and Cold War history. Knowing how pleased the Presidential Search Committee and the Board of Trustees were regarding the process and outcome of the search, I commented to the board chair, Chris Kennedy, once that I hoped the search for Springfield campus chancellor will be equally successful. Chair Kennedy replied, "The top candidate is already taken." Indeed, here he is. Let's welcome President Mike Hogan.
Thank you, Tih-Fen. Well, I don't know where to begin. I'm watching the video up there and seeing a decade of life on this campus and life for the Ringeisens roll by. And it's very hard not to be, in fact, it's impossible not to be impressed. If you weren't impressed with the Chancellor who uses words like golly and wow, then you can't be impressed. But if you look around this campus, what can we say except golly and wow at all that he and Carroll have accomplished. I've only known Rich really now for a few months, and that's adding a week or two. And it's true, I've always found him an incredibly capable guy, professional, and well in every way, perfectly chancellery, as they would say. We don't always agree. Even in 3 months, we've had disagreements. But I like that about Rich. I mean, and I expect that all the chancellors. There's 2 more in the room, and we all sort of, it's just the nature of the game and what you would expect of your chancellors. And I have 3 great chancellors, and I'm losing one now, and he will be very, very hard to replace. But other than being altogether chancellery, as colleagues tell me, there's really much more to Richard Ringeisen. There's Rich the golfer, or I should say Rich who goes golfing. I'm told he comes back from every single round back to the office here shaking his head and declaring it was the worst round ever, until he heads out for the next worst round ever a day or 2 later. Then there's Rich the songbird. We saw a little taste of that. Now, I must say I've never really had a chance to see it, but I've been told that Rich breaks into song at nearly every single campus event. So, I wanted to get an honest rating of his vocals on the record. I asked several people, and several of them said they'd be glad to give me an honest rating of his vocals in about a month, and not before. But most did agree that as a singer, Rich is a heck of an administrator. Now, he may not get the credit he deserves for his voice, but I'll tell you, he draws wide praise and high praise for his skill as an academic administrator and for his vision. Since he started out here 9 years ago, he's told almost anyone who will listen, anyone who would listen. I've been here only 3 months, and I've heard this like 500 times already. what he calls his bodacious vision that UIS will be universally, not just recognized, but universally, even on Mars we're going to be talking about this pretty soon, as one of the top 5 public liberal arts universities in the nation. Think no small thoughts. Have no small visions. Have no small dreams. That fits Rich. His colleagues say his bold and relentless push has become a campus rallying cry, a community rallying cry here for his friends and colleagues and community leaders in Springfield. It's united literally the university in pursuit of a shared goal, a shared vision. The record shows that UIS, in fact, is well on its way thanks to Rich's leadership. The university has risen in U.S. News and World Report rankings. We've heard about that. If you haven't heard about it, you haven't been listening to Rich. And has seen an unprecedented wave of growth in its programs, facilities, and enrollment. Just take a walk around this campus. I cannot tell you, even tonight, I've just been here an hour, and I bet 10 people have come up to me and said, can you believe it? You have no idea what this place looked like 9 and 10 years ago. I mean, everybody in the room who's been here with that length of time or longer has been stunned by the physical transformation of this campus, and it's not over yet. Under Rich's watch, UIS has become literally a national leader in online education. And if you believe as I do that that's going to play a bigger and bigger role in the future of higher education administration, 10 years down the road, look back and you'll see that this campus, under Rich's leadership, has paved the way for other universities and our other campuses as well. And last month, the university celebrated after reaching one of Rich's unofficial, bodacious goals, topping the 5,000 student milestone for the first time in the school's 440-year history. And if you didn't see the video on this, the guy is an expert at promoting his campus. There's a video. You should look at it. It's terrific. His love and passion for the University of Illinois at Springfield runs deep. There's no doubt about that. He leaves a legacy that will be forever remembered and hard to top. There's no doubt about that. But through it all, and this cannot be said too much, he's had the best friend and loyal partner and incredible colleague and his wife, Carolyn. Carolyn, would you stand? I mean, he couldn't have done it without you and without the support of all those to the right of you. The whole family, I want them all to stand. Take about, especially the 2 young guys here. Oh, yeah, stand up. I have a big family myself, and they share in all the glory and often in all the pain. So there hasn't been a good piece of news across this campus or a bad piece that hasn't been shared with Carolyn, and by Carolyn, and by the whole family. And they've stayed true as a family does in support of President Ringeisen. So, Rich, on behalf of the entire university community, and behalf of our family to you and your family, we want to say thank you for all that you have done. I hope your retirement is filled with joy. I know it will be filled with family, and I hope it will be filled with the best rounds of golf you've ever played. Though on that score, there's considerable doubt. And now I want to invite our 2 trustees, Francis Carroll and Trustee Karen Hasara. Karen, wave your hand, Trustee. Everybody in Springfield knows you and on this campus, and Trustee Carroll. We want them both to come because we're going to ask Chancellor Ringeisen and Mrs. Ringeisen to also join us at the podium. And I'm going to, it says right here, I'm going to turn to the table on the platform and pick up the large, bright blue box with the gold seal. So come on up here. This must be it. This must be it. And I'm going to hold it here, let you open it. It's very heavy, by the way. My instructions are hold it from the bottom. You rise to the top.
You're doing this pretty well.
Oh, wow. Now that, I must say, maybe if you held it like this and showed it to the crowd. Just like that. Can everyone see this? I want to just say I'm speaking now for the entire university community, Rich, and also for the Board of Trustees. They have this little gift to commemorate all your years of service here, everything that you and Carolyn has done. It's a memento of our appreciation for your outstanding service. So it says here, hold the box, says Rich and Carolyn, lift open the top. We jumped ahead of that, but I do want everyone to see it because this is fantastic. And to bring this part of my little part of this presentation to a conclusion, I'm going to introduce Board of Trustee member Frances Carroll, and she's going to come up here and make some remarks, including reading the board's resolution to Chancellor Ringeisen. So, there you are, right behind me.
By authority of the Board of Trustees of the University of Illinois, I read into history this resolution to Richard D. Ringeisen. The Board of Trustees is pleased to have designated you as Chancellor Emeritus of the University of Illinois at Springfield. You will be remembered with gratitude for your contributions to the Springfield campus since assuming the role of Chancellor in 2001. These include establishing the campus as an outstanding public liberal arts institution, attested to by consistently high rankings in national surveys and by the campus's admission to the Council of Public Liberal Arts Colleges, adding facilities to the campus that include a classroom building, a research station, new student housing, the Peoria Center, and a recreation and athletics center. The board wishes to express its appreciation to you and Mrs. Ringeisen for your service as exemplary ambassadors of the university in the capital city of the state and beyond. At this time, the Board of Trustees, President Michael Hogan, faculty members, students and staff members extend warm wishes to you and Mrs. Ringeisen and your family. Would you mind coming up one more time? This is the resolutions that's going in the history books.
Thank you very much, and it's so good to see so many people here. I'd like to welcome our out-of-town guests, of which there are many. Welcome to UIS and to Springfield. Thomas Edison once said, "People are not remembered by how few times they fail, but by how often they succeed." And as I look around, I see so many successes. Most have already been mentioned, but I'm going to repeat a few of them, I'm sure. Our beautiful campus that has taken on such a marvelous look, new buildings on the campus, hundreds of students hanging around the dorms, and as we see, hanging out here too. That's all part of it, isn't it? Our e-learning awards that keep coming in and coming in. U.S. News and World Report that we're so proud of. A more diverse mix of students here. A very active group of alums. There are so many things that have happened since you've arrived here, Rich. And Carolyn, you have become such a part, particularly of our Alumni Association. We just are going to miss seeing your face at so many of our meetings, and I think you know that. On a personal note, Rich, we've gone through several phases of life together. I was the mayor of Springfield when Rich first came. A lot of times haven't been easy, I know that. I have been thrilled to serve on your advisory committee all of these years. And now as the first UIS grad as a member of the Board of Trustees. Who thought when I arrived here exactly 40 years ago, all I wanted to do was teach elementary school, and who thought that I would be standing up here thanking you for 9 years of wonderful service as a University of Illinois trustee. We're so proud of you and all that you've done for us. We know that the future will be bright with all of the pathways that you've led us through over the last 9 years. And I think that this crowd here this evening, I think every leader in our community is here to thank you and to say goodbye to you tonight. So I hope you take that to heart and realize what a very special occasion this is for all of us here in Springfield. Thanks for a wonderful 9 years. And who knows, we're not going to be living too far apart part of the year in South Carolina. So I'll get to see him probably more than anyone else from Springfield in the future. And I look forward to that. Thank you so much.
Trustee Sarah, thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be working with you in this new capacity, your service as trustee of the University of Illinois. I wanted to mention that we have another trustee of the University of Illinois in the audience today, Mr. Charles Olivier, student trustee from UIS. Charles, raise yourself. Thank you. And I'm going to call Julie Kellner back up to the podium to make another presentation.
Rich and Carolyn, you're leaving such a legacy at UIS, and we all appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie.
And now the time. Oh, let's see. I got to repeat what Mike said a while ago about Carolyn. I better not. Yeah, that was Grandpa on the screen. Did you hear the guys talking about it? But, you know, Carolyn, we said we'd do these things together. And everybody in this room knows that we did and what you did. You know, I want to quote our favorite ex-president of the country, that is, in his farewell speech to Springfield, which we all had memorized. But you have to know how much it applies to this place and to the kindness of these people. We owe everything. You know, I will tell you a little story. That's my story of introduction to the University of Illinois Springfield, a short story by Jim Stuckel. Because this isn't what Carol and I were going to do at all. Jim's word to us was, now we know where you've been and we know who else is courting you. And you can go tweak around the edges of those institutions. What we need to do here is build something. You have an opportunity to leave a footprint in the sand. And that inspired us. That and Sangamon Auditorium. Carol and I were offered the job before we'd ever seen Springfield, Illinois. We came on a stealth visit and we were showing around and we walked in the auditorium and we almost simultaneously said, this is first class. Let's see if we can do that to this entire institution. That's been the driving force. I get asked a lot these days, Rich, what are you proudest of? That's hard, but it's UIS and the specialness of this institution. There is no place like UIS. Think of someplace else that has high quality, on-campus liberal arts programs, that serves a community and student community and has done so for 40 years, and is a leading online university, and it's all with the same faculty. The faculty here cannot be praised enough. Every faculty member here comes knowing they will teach online and on class. They'll have 35-year-old juniors and 20-year-old juniors in the same classroom. That's special. The 40th anniversary, folks, of you all doing that. And it's a special place. Co-plaque, those kind of things. But you know, really, if I had to pick one thing we've done together, it would be the strategic plan. The strategic plan. Because we all noticed 10 years ago that we weren't yet quite sure what we were or where we're headed. Been Sangamon State for 25 years, have been in the University of Illinois for 5 years. Just what are we? What shall we be? And that strategic plan said, this we shall be. And it was bodacious, which for you folks that don't talk South, is bold and audacious. And we stuck to it. And everybody, we cussed, we discussed, we hollered, we yelled, we talked things over, and we reached the conclusion of what we're going to be. Don't stop. That's what led to all the other stuff you've been seeing, you know. The buildings, the new curricula, the faculty, the NCAA, the COPLAC, the fine arts, all those things that we've been building rise directly from that strategic plan, and we've never taken our eyes off of it. You know, I've quoted Abraham Lincoln. Now I have to quote one more time my favorite philosopher. That's Dr. Seuss, who said, the places I'd hike to, the road that I'd ramble, to find the best eggs that have ever been scrambled. If you want to get eggs you can't buy in a store, you've got to do things never thought of before. We've scrambled some pretty good eggs. We've done things never thought of before. Keep the faith. Don't stop. This community is part of UIS. UIS is part of this community. We don't let up now. We don't stop now. We're going to reach that $28 million goal of fundraising. We're going to continue to have that great faculty. We're going to continue to be what the president called the gem of the University of Illinois system. Thank you all for being here. It means more than I can ever imagine. The scholarship was, I mean, that's incredible. And Francis, what great friends we've been for so long. Tih-Fen, I'll miss you. I've never seen this outfit before, but I like it. And Harry, I want you to know I have not told you everything. And I do need to say one last personal word to these people. There's only certain things you do in life, and those that are most important are there and there. My little guys, by the way, are in their UIS blue ties. I hope you noticed that. And really looking at that young woman and that young man and what they've done, what they are doing, what they've done, what their families are, is a very special thing. And I wish that for all of you. Thank you very much. Keep the faith.